Thomas Miller really sucks.
Yeah. And he looks like he's putting on weight. Too many Haitian restaurants in New York.
Welcome to He Did This To Me, the sports podcast from a father and son who happen to be mostly optimistic Knicks, Mets, and Jets fans. My name is Nick, a.k.a. Goody, and with me is my old man, a.k.a. the big guy, Noel. And just like his name, all we do is win. Let's get to the show. It's time to begin. The shooting star that was the Knicks, after winning the NBA Cup, has come crashing to earth. Talk to me, big guy. How we feeling?
Well, I mean, these are rough times. I mean, I think every time we speak about this, we always say, that realize it's a long season, a lot of ups and downs, but some things are glaring lately, Nick. Some things are glaring lately. And, I mean, there's a lot to get into as far as the personnel, as far as, I don't know, how we're handling things. I mean, I don't know, as the hot burning love that was for Mike Brown cooled a bit. Defensively, I don't know what's happening to us defensively. And all I know is every time we had a problem with the defense last year, who did the blame end up on? For quite a bit. Tibbs. I don't know what Brown is or isn't doing now to get these guys to play. We do need to talk about the whole, public shaming that he way of handling things. I don't know if that's necessarily the best way, but there's a lot of interesting stuff going on, and the Knicks need to figure out a lot if they want to go far in this postseason. Nick, right now they're not going to go far. They're too soft.
They're too soft. Before we move forward, I gotta blame the producers of the show for the fact that we didn't fix the pillows.
Okay.
This is absurd. See, this is real. This is real life, real time stuff. Here.
Natural.
I'm not cutting this out.
Okay.
Right. But yeah, let's get back to our Knicks. I'm beyond worried.
Yeah.
I'm definitely questioning many things about Mike Brown, his overall handling of things, whether that be in the media or that be post-game with former players that he was an assistant coach for.
He's too friendly with these guys?
You didn't see the tape?
What are you doing?
All right. Well, I'll pull up the tape as I'm talking about this. So, personally, this is my thing.
Too chummy.
Let's just go ahead and start with that specific subject, because I didn't think that there's anything that could upset me more than how the Knicks have been playing basketball on the court. But when it comes to this asshole Draymond and how he conducts himself and him grabbing Cat's foot in a play that should not just be a flagrant, but should absolutely, to me, swinging on a guy and like hitting him in like the chest. If you throw a punch and it hits him anywhere, that's immediately going to get you tossed from a game, right? What Draymond did last night was more dangerous than that. But what was even more upsetting than what Draymond did was the reaction of Karl Anthony Towns' teammates. Not only during the game when him and Draymond are going back and forth, but the only person I saw that even like remotely seemed like he stepped up and had Cat's back was Deuce, actually.
100%. I saw that.
And then you got OG talking to Draymond somewhat cordially, but with OG, you never really know where his emotions are. But I saw for sure Josh Hart being like very chummy with Draymond post game. Yes. And then Mike Brown, him, Draymond, and Steph basically had a love fest after the game. I mean, just big smiles and hugs and all this stuff. Man, I'm sorry, yo. The way that this team did not have Cat's back in that instance. And listen, if it wasn't for this, I'd probably start off with talking about all the different grievances I have with Cat. But, yo, man, this dude Draymond's an asshole. He tries to injure him. He last year tried to say that Cat was scared to come to the game which is why he missed when Cat was not there because he was helping his future fiance grieve at the time. He then refuses to walk that back even when he finds out what the real was. Says because he was scared of Jimmy Butler. Oh, by the way, earlier that year when Jimmy Butler was on Miami, Cat put 44 on his head. So it's beyond stupid on a bunch of different levels. But beyond that, I mean, this guy does this and nobody's got a problem. Brunson gets knocked to the ground. Nobody's got a problem. And now we're chummy and dapping this guy up. I'm so I said this last year. I'm going to say this again. If I was playing in the park with somebody who I didn't know and somebody did some dirty shit like that to them, I would, I'm not saying I'm going to go over and hit the dude, but I'm at least going to step to him like, yo, what the fuck? And then I'm definitely not going to be all chummy with him afterwards. This does not seem like a team that's connected, and it's felt that way basically since the second half of the game on New Year's Eve against the Spurs, and it's just continued to get worse and worse here in this last month or so. And I'm sorry, like that team, the way that they conducted themselves last night, it's so hard for me to understand how the coach can then after the game talk about, well, that's just how Draymond plays, but Cat getting his fifth foul, that's the what really. And I think that sometimes when he calls people, like when he called Cat out for not getting back a couple games ago, I'm with that. He deserved to be called out in the media. But now it seems like you're only calling out Cat. Like that's the only person you have anything to say about. And honestly, in last night's game, Cat was probably our best player, if not one of the two best players. And that's not saying much because nobody really played that well. But man, I just thought that was so. I was like almost like, man, this is my team. Like this is not a team I'm proud to be a fan of when they don't step up and have their brothers back like that. I just thought that was a really poor display, and I think it says a lot about where the Knicks are right now.
Well, yeah, I mean, I didn't like it. I texted you immediately. He should have been ejected. But, and Nick, I mean, let's be honest. People always make excuses for this guy, Draymond. People have for years. I think early on you were a little bit more forgiving of him, and over the years you've grown to hate him. I hated him from day one.
It's never that
a lot of people were more accepting of his act.
I've never been accepting of it. I've always said that he was an idiot. I've always said that the shit he was done was terrible. I still think that he's a valuable I think he's more of a valuable basketball player than you do, and I think that hate it or love it, his overall demeanor, act, and what he does was kind of what the Steph and Clay teams needed. They needed that to counteract the overall just niceness of them. Because we see a team right now that's way too nice.
This is where we can totally disagree. You can be a tough guy and not be an asshole. You can be a tough guy and not be a dirty player.
Those other two are just so nice. The dirty part.
That's what I'm saying. But what you're saying is giving him cover. Don't say, they needed that. No, they needed a guy to play tough and play hard. They didn't need a guy to be a dirty player, and he's a dirty player, Nick. When he wants to be, he's a dirty player. Over
time. I think when he was younger, I don't think he was. It wasn't as much about him being dirty. He was just.
I think
he was always going back and forth with officials a lot. I don't know. I
think he was dirty then too. But anyway, I think people have always made excuses for him, and Mike Brown continues to basically enable. I mean, on top of that too, what he did to Cat. One, like you say, I don't understand why no teammate stepped to him. But two, Cat didn't even step to him after the game. Nick, after the game, I saw he was talking to somebody. It might have been OG, and Cat came in and glad-handed into the conversation with the two of them.
I wouldn't say he's glad-handed at all.
Well,
and there was also
came in,
the clip of him and Cat going back and forth, and Cat basically telling him, "Yo, you're not that dude. Stop acting like you hard."
Where after the game?
No, it was during the game.
After the game, it seemed like they were very cordial.
After the game, they walked up, they dapped or whatever, and they kept moving. Draymond dapped up Cat's dad after the game.
Right, exactly. Again, exactly my point. Everybody, Draymond. What Draymond does is he pushes to the limit of assholishness and then still wants to come up to you and act like homeboy. So he's kind of putting you in a position where he would act like, oh, now you're going to act like that? If you acted like you or I might act.
I don't think he would take it like that.
My point is he may not do that, Nick, but he's putting you in, he's kind of putting you in that position because he knows he's an asshole. He knows he's dirty. He just doesn't give a shit, but he's still going to be your boy or try to act like your boy through all of it. And Nick, He's not a very good person, man. I saw the video again.
Good person?
Well, I mean, listen, I saw the
I
video
think what
again.
he does between the lines is bullshit. But I also think that part of that, I mean, the fact that him and LeBron are such good friends with all the stuff that's going on between those two, I think is Draymond's mindset. And I'm not saying I agree with this. I'm not saying that I would take this and be okay with it if I were playing against him. But I think his mindset is there's between the lines and then there's not between the lines.
See, but again, that's idiotic to me. Does that mean anything between the lines goes? No. So there's still limits between the lines and not between the lines. You know?
I'm sure there's people who feel that way. I feel like I would feel that way. And what I'm disappointed in is that
feels that way.
It's not everybody feels that way because we see all these guys. LeBron's just one of his best friends.
I know he feels that way though, Nick, because there's certain things he wouldn't let you do to him on the court. You see, so he gets to decide moment to moment, minute to minute, what the limits are.
The biggest
That's
issue.
Madness.
I know. My whole premise on this is that I can't believe that nobody on the Knicks feels the same way you and I do about it. Like, but I mean, across the, like I'm saying, around the league, one of the biggest competitors, greatest competitors, one of the guys who has all the battles with him in the world, they somehow figure out after this guy just hit you in the nuts on purpose, you guys are friends afterwards. I personally, I don't understand that, but. I think that's part of today's NBA with the jersey sharing and everybody's friends, everybody's pals. And the Knicks need to get a little bit more edge and stop letting shit like that happen to our stars. I mean, Brunson's the smallest guy on the court. He's getting knocked to the ground, flagrant fouls, and no one is saying anything.
Well, and I mean, beyond that, Nick, you see, I agree. It would be great if somebody stepped up and did something. But what I think is more egregious, okay, we don't need to run up and play tough guy and jump in somebody's face and stuff. We need to start playing hard defense too. Okay, we're letting people play against us a certain way, and the refs are clearly willing to let it go, but we don't play like that against the other team until it's desperation time, like the last 7 minutes. We're not playing up in guys' jerseys like they're doing to us. So instead of defending ourselves like it's a fight, because it's not, nobody's going to fight.
I think it's two different conversations. I think that, but whether the fact that the Knicks need to play defense, much better defense and much more aggressive and physical defense, I think that's one conversation. The fact that the Knicks need to defend themselves when other people are doing dirty shit to them, or when other people are doing shit that deserves you to come back at them. We know no one's going to fight, but come back and get in somebody's face, like we've all seen in basketball, like happens on park courts. That's something that those are two separate things. I feel like we need to do both of those better.
Well, yeah, I agree. Definitely both better. But I think if we played more physical D, not saying other people would chill out, but the scales would even a lot more. That it would be different, Nick. We're right now we're just constantly the ones getting punched in the face. We're constantly we're the nail, not the hammer.
Sure.
And that shows. And it seems as if we're becoming more and more meek through it. And the truth of the matter is, you can't expect Brunson to be, first of all, he's not a great defender. Second of all, he's too small. I mean, he's not that guy on our team to do that.
You know what's interesting, though? If somebody was going to the rim and we wanted to give them a hard foul to make sure that they don't get a layup, Brunson's probably the most likely person to do that.
He probably would, but I wish he wasn't that guy.
I wish he wasn't. But
he's going to break his hand again.
But it's crazy that, really, right. He probably is.
Yeah, Nick, I mean, okay, so OG's
going to try to make a play.
OG's going to try to make a play, but he will not be a tough guy in any means, and he's a virtual mute.
I think
but
that, I do think the way that
he plays hard.
It's not just that he plays hard. OG also plays physical and with you know what I'm saying. But he's not going to get into a back and forth. I mean, he did push what's his name.
That was the weakest push ever, Nick. You went like this. That was like a Monty Burns.
Desmond Bain.
Right.
I think
obviously they're friends, so it wasn't mean-spirited, but don't give that push as your example because it wasn't a good look.
I don't care if you are my friend. If you do some dirty shit like that, you throw that ball at me like that in the middle of a basketball game, I'm going to come back and push you.
That wasn't even that bad. That wasn't that bad. That didn't come close to your man Draymond. He actually even threw the ball. He didn't even throw the ball hard because he realized halfway through what the fuck he was doing. It was stupid.
What are you talking about?
Desmond Bain threw the ball
as hard as he.
I don't remember that.
Everyone talked about how he threw a fucking fastball at him. He threw the ball as hard as him as hard at him as he possibly could. There was no pulling up. I'm telling you, he did not pull up at all. He threw that ball hard as hell. But anyway, yeah, the Knicks in general, man, they're just They're soft. This team
They're
is
very
soft.
soft.
Let me
Very
ask you.
soft.
Let me ask you a question because it's on wax. Go back a couple episodes. We're talking about Giannis, and we're both saying there's no way that I want Giannis. I'm telling you right now, Dad. If you told me Giannis and Miles Turner for Cat and Bridges,
Oh yeah, you'd make that trade.
got to make that trade, right?
You'd make that trade because, and it's so funny because when we spoke about this a while back, we were both so can't touch Bridges, need Bridges. He's a winning type player. Blah blah blah. It's amazing how things can turn in such a short period of time, Nick. As far as opinions, especially with us Knicks fans, I think right now, yeah, you'd have to make that trade because, I mean, Cat just continues to disappoint, Nick. I mean, you know what kills you is he has games like last night. He had a good first half. Second half, he was a no-show, Nick. It's pretty much, except for the rebounding, he was pretty much a no-show, and it was frustrating because that was a very small team, and he couldn't finish around the rim, man. It was brutal. I mean, he could not finish. More production issues?
No,
he could not.
I'm showing you
could
this
not
throw because
finish.
you just tried to say he pulled up. He did
All
not
right,
pull up.
fine. So I'm wrong. He could not finish around the rim. You know, he was very frustrating. I couldn't. Dude, man, it's very hard for me to get behind and stay behind a guy who's 7 foot 240, and you know, I mean, the game before there were times when Westbrook was holding him. I saw Westbrook holding him a couple times. And I know low center of gravity. Stop it. It's beyond frustrating. I mean, dude, if there was ever a time to just use the jump hook, but no, you have to try to go to the hole, and then you get stripped. And you know, a couple times last night, Nick, he got stripped. He just got stripped and the shot blocked.
Got stripped and then went down and got stripped and then sat there and hand fought the guy and got another foul just for no reason. Like, what did you think?
I mean,
was going to
dude,
happen here?
And you know, I got to tell you, this is something I wanted to point out to you. So I think, what is the commitment like from his dad and even his woman, Nick, to go to every one of these games and sit there? Listen to me. We know just going to Nazi's games, if people are making too much, you know, if people are chirping, you get upset with certain things people say. That's your son. That's your grandson. Can you imagine going to a Knicks game and hearing the things that they might say about your son and just sitting there and taking it every game? I mean, it's one thing if you go a few games a year or if you sit up in a box. But, dude, every game right there, and the people around you know who you are, and you know, because you're, dude, I don't know, Nick. That's a lot.
I mean, his dad's been doing it his entire life.
I know. But I wonder, listen, might get a little warmer in the Garden, especially, listen, this game when they come back now Saturday night, I don't think Cat has really gotten much Garden wrath. I don't think it will be that bad Saturday. But if he plays shitty, you're going to get some boos, and there may be a couple choice things yelled out from the crowd.
I mean, think about it like this.
You suck, Cat.
I mean, of course, there's always
Why are you so soft?
There's always going to be random people who say shit like that. I mean, again, he's been dealing with that his entire life. But when it comes to...
a lot.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's a lot to those guys. I really don't. I don't think you could make it to that level of the NBA if things that in the people crowd say bother you.
I think it might bother him, but he's not going to go fight. He's not going to.
No, I just don't. I literally, no, they're not going to go fight anybody. They're just not. I don't think it registers to them. It doesn't.
Martini.
It doesn't matter to them. Like they block that shit out.
Yeah, I think it matters.
Then they would all be emotional messes all the time.
I think it matters, Nick, but they deal with it. I don't think it's not like they don't hear it. They deal with it, but it can be bothersome.
I think I've heard plenty of NBA players talk about how when they're out on the court, they don't hear anything that
I'm not talking about the players. I'm talking about their parents.
Yeah, I think for them, especially sitting in the crowd, they have to do it even more so. I just feel that
Julius Randle.
Yeah, with his wife, yeah. But I know, but other than that, I can't think of one other person who's ever had that type of reaction. You know what I mean? I can't. I just don't think that's. I think they have to be built for that a long time ago before they even get to the NBA. But I just don't understand. I don't understand what happened to the identity of this team in such a short amount of time. Mike Brown, I definitely would like to see some more plays run, and that I feel like it's gotten a little bit better. But at the end of the day, the offense isn't the problem. And in the NBA, there are certain coaches who get their teams to play defense over eras, over different teams and different rosters and things like that. Honestly, like I used to put Tibbs in that category, but even last year our defense wasn't so good. So there's always that, chicken egg question when it comes to this team these last few years. Is it personnel or is it roster? But I look at more than anything else when it comes to the roster, just you losing a Hartenstein, you losing a Julius, you losing a DiVincenzo. Hartenstein and DiVincenzo, both of them definitely are getting up in Draymond's face yesterday. That's not even a question.
That's
I'm
right.
I'm 100% sure of that.
Fact.
Julius,
100%.
maybe not for somebody else. If it happened to himself, but I even think Julius probably, if it happened to one of his teammates.
He would have just had a tougher reaction. Even if it wasn't getting in somebody's face, he would have had a tougher reaction to how he played after that, Nick. Julius would have went to the hole hard and or if somebody came to Julius is not, he's not about that bullshit. And he would have showed you in his actions that he was angered and annoyed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The Knicks, on the other hand, last night played as if nothing had happened and they had a nice cup of tea at halftime. It's frustrating. But I mean, listen, there have been times where I've heard people say, the team takes on the personality of their leader. The team takes on some of the personality of their coach. And listen, it's only been a short stretch right here, right? Since about Christmas. So it's been a little less than a month. So we can't judge the whole season on it. But if they don't turn this around, Nick, this will be a much worse defensive team than last year.
Absolutely.
So let's not stretch this out and make this a season-long thing. It hasn't been. I don't know why, like you say, what happened between October and the end of the year and the end of the year and now to change the defense. I get it that Hart was out. I get it that Shamet was out. But it's more than that.
It's more than that because you watch a whole lot of these other teams who have guys out and they still have an identity to them. And everybody who wants to blame Jalen Brunson for the defense, it didn't look a whole lot better with him out last night.
No.
And
it did look better when he was playing at the first part of the year. And it did look better last year. I mean, no, it's not all on Jalen Brunson. But I will say this, that I heard somebody saying, they made a good point. It's hard to have a decent defensive team when two of your top flight players are bad.
Yeah, people have always said that about
that's
this
the
Knicks
problem. That is the problem,
team.
Nick. And that's why I'm starting to come around to the thought of, somebody like Giannis because, as much as you like Cat offensively, man, I need a guy who gets in the paint a little more. Now, is Giannis really that guy? I don't know. But Giannis,
what do you mean gets in the paint? Like offensively?
Giannis gets in the paint with the layups, and he's very good at that. But he's still not really a post player.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I just think that's wanting a big man who's a post player. That's an antiquated thought.
I want a little more post, though, Nick. I mean, Cat's presence with his back to the basket is a joke most of the time. It just is, and I need that to be more of a part of his game. It doesn't have to be the dominant part of his game like he's Patrick Ewing, but it has to be more, Nick, where he can do that at times. It seemed like at times last night he was like rushing, because someone's coming close to him, and these people are 6'7", and he's trying to get the ball up quick and hitting the ball off the rim. I didn't understand what was happening last night at times. I was confused. Dude, man, it was very frustrating last night.
See, I don't think I didn't have a huge issue with Cat's on the court game other than the fouls against Golden State. There's been other games recently against Sacramento, against Phoenix, which, by the way, Knicks, the Goodrich family dropped about $1,000 that day to go to that game and eat and drink and everything. And this is the product that you gave us. Honestly, to be fair, the Phoenix game, I was kind of feeling like, okay, we played well against the Clippers.
We won one game before that, so we were excited.
But also, I also, and I went back and I watched a good amount of that game after I got home. We didn't play that horrible in that game. I think against Sacramento and against Golden State, we just didn't play. Nobody played well, but specifically, I mean, Cat in that Sacramento game. everybody has seen the clip of him not hustling back. But when the thing I wanted to talk about was you talked about the personality of the head coach. And one thing I'll say about Tibbs is he's a grinder, and he's very, very just like steadfast and just stays the course. And, Brunson very much has some of those, traits as well. Mm-hmm. And one thing before the season, I heard Matt Barnes say.
Yep.
He said, I like this guy, Mike Brown. He's too nice.
Too nice.
And, he's a very glib, nice guy. We've all seen that whenever he's, in front of a microphone. And, him just deciding to make Cat such a punching bag, I think it's been a little too heavy-handed here recently.
Yeah, it's a little heavy. I think there's ways you could have talked about that thing with Cat. Like, listen, I'm sure a reporter asked him directly about that. But you can be a coach and answer in the we's and the us, and he did some of that.
But he was asked about Draymond grabbing Cat, and then he said,
Draymond, I heard him say that.
But then he followed that up with, what really hurt us was when Cat got his 5th foul.
Right. That was unnecessary.
He didn't need to say that right there.
That was unnecessary.
And also, how about just defend your player right there?
Right.
And also, how about don't fucking have a cuddle party? Have a cuddle party with this guy after the. Come on, man. Yeah. I'm sorry, but that shit disgusted me yesterday when I saw that.
Wasn't good, but listen, it's obvious that this is par for the course, Nick. This is what we're going to see from this guy. You heard what Matt Barnes said. That's coming to fruition now, right? That's the real. He's a nice guy, and we have to be better defensively. I mean, that's just the facts. And if we're better defensively, we'll be better offensively. Like we always say with the easy baskets, the 4 or 5 easy baskets. Hey man, these guys have to figure it out and figure it out quick, man. Because everybody's coming for us now. And everybody's coming for us with that physical upfront defense that we clearly have not handled well.
Okay. I don't think that teams don't play physical, but when they play the Knicks, they say, you know what, we're going to play extra.
No, but you know what? They do. They might play physical. And teams, listen, a team like Sacramento, Nick, was it Sacramento or was it the LA Clippers? No, the LA Clippers, we beat them.
Yeah.
But Sacramento
by the way, Sacramento in their last 3 games they beat the Lakers, they beat Houston and us.
Right. And I didn't think Sacramento played that physical against us.
No, they shot a lot better.
They just shot a lot better than we did and hustled and played harder than we did.
Yeah.
So last night I thought Golden State at times played much more physical than we did. And, well, definitely Draymond. But in any case, we just, again, Nick, you see, I don't want to keep saying physical like you have to go up and hit people. We have to play we have to play, and this is what I mean more than anything with Cat. It's not just playing harder. It's also just playing a firmer game, Nick, where like this, getting, knocked around and just offensively, defensively, just stay within yourself more. We need to do that more as a team and just a hardcore game. We don't do that, man. We're leaning on the side of like Bridges on the court, where we're a little more wispy than we need to be.
Yeah.
And we need to be a little less wispy. We need to be a little more Oakley. You know what I mean? Where like everything he did was like, everything was firm. We don't do that, Nick. When we touch somebody, we touch them like that instead of boom, hitting into them. And when people touch Cat, you could see they hit into him, but when he touches them, he like leans into them instead. Yeah, and we have to be more like that.
Cat's the one person I give the benefit of the doubt with that when it comes to that specific thing, as far as like he's not as physical as other people are with him, because the whistle this guy gets is insanity. It's insanity, and it's not just me that feels this way. Mike Breen feels this way. Many people all over the internet feel this way. It doesn't make any sense. I've literally seen things like within one game where they showed these 3 clips.
That's the question.
What's he going to do about it? Well, the question, the point that I'm making is that I think the refs suck. But what's he going to do about it? I think that part of it is that he definitely needs to control his body more. My thing is this: I'm not giving Cat a pass. I'm not giving Cat a pass. I'm just calling it for what it is when it comes to how he's officiated. Okay. But in addition to that, he absolutely, positively needs to be just. And these are things that aren't going to change. He's not going to change his game all of a sudden. I wish that he would just take the ball and take 2 dribbles with somebody on his back and they're smaller than him, just turn around and put up a jump hook or a jump shot over them?
And he won't
of
do
course,
it.
of course I wish that. Do I wish that he wouldn't try to drive from the free throw line to the rim with his left hand because it ends up in him getting stripped almost every single time? Of course. But there are certain games where he's driving to the hole over and over and over again and he's killing the other team. And he brings us back and puts us back in the game. And overall, the guy's been an extremely successful offensive player throughout his entire career. My issues with him are much more on the defense as a whole. His defense has even continued to, I think, be better. It's not perfect. It's not great. It's gotten better this year. It's been better. I really, really feel as though we as a team don't do a good enough job of trying to attack other teams' weaknesses or get certain guys involved at certain times, and we don't attack the paint enough. And I think that some of that is personnel, some of that is system. I think a lot of it has to do with personnel, though, because, Bridges is so non-aggressive when it comes to going to the hole. There was a play he had the other night. First of all, the play at the end of the Suns game where he just runs up on the ball, stands right there, and lets this guy jump around him and throw the ball into him. I mean, no one can explain why that is the play to make right there. What the fuck was he thinking right there? I have no idea. But, I mean, other than OG and Brunson, I mean, Cat puts pressure on the basket some, but as we know, it can be an absolute adventure. But OG and Brunson are the only players that are really putting pressure on the basket. On the entire roster.
It's insanity. And listen to me. Other teams, again, the word is out. There's a free and open pass to the bucket when you're playing against us. Jimmy Butler last night, I was like, how many times is this guy going to go and lay the ball up right at the bucket with one of our centers close by? They were.
We also don't keep anybody in front of us as far as our guards are concerned.
We don't.
I'm watching
Nick,
Bridges getting taken to the rim by this guy Podzinski.
Podzinski is killing Bridges. I mean, slaying him, doing mad flip-up shots, looking like, who's this guy? One of these young hip-hop guys, Jack Harlow, out there making shots. I was like, who is this guy?
Keep saying he looks like Harlow.
I know. I just feel like he's got curly hair. But, I mean, dude, it was embarrassing, man. And I'm telling you, layup. Everybody, when they know they're playing the Knicks tonight, they're all saying, layup, on the way into the arena because they know they're going to get a lot of layups, and it's embarrassing, man. Okay?
We don't guard the three well, and we give up a lot of layups.
What's going on? Well, that would explain why we're giving up 110 points in 20 games straight, 110 or more.
Your boy, Mike Brown said that we're making some adjustments into like how we play defense and like what some of our philosophies are there. I'm yet to see that pan out. It's a bad spot, man. Deuce is like the one bright spot right now. Deuce has been playing pretty well, but even he defensively, I've seen him getting blown by a couple times. So I'm like, Deuce, I thought that you were used to be our guy, Mr. Point of Attack. Yeah. Josh Hart comes back in that first game that he's back. He has a great game. The whole team looks different. We look like, okay, we're back, and then
then all of a sudden,
just revert back to this soft. Like, this is the second time he's being referenced today, but like freaking Monty Burns type shit. Like Bridges, man. Bridges is just running around like this all the time. He's just running around like this all the time. And and he makes a mistake and he's just like,
I know. That smile on his face sometimes when he makes a mistake. Wipe that
smile off your motherfucking face. Come on, man. Come on, yo. They're driving me nuts right now. Oh, it's so frustrating to watch this team play like this. And it's like, yo, I mean, again, the Giannis thing, where the fact that we've totally done a 180 on that.
Totally.
Let's talk about the 180 on, would this team be better if we had Julius and Dhante as opposed to Bridges and Cat? You can't tell me that this team would not be better if we had those two.
I don't know if we'd be better, Nick. See, I think we might be a little better.
Dante's got the highest, in the year of 2026, Dhante DiVincenzo has the highest plus minus in the entire NBA.
But he didn't.
Plus 90.
He was not so great last year.
Plus 90.
Okay.
I'm talking about right now. Listen. Julius is staring people down. He's getting you.
Killing it.
Julius is, look, the whole like not getting back and occasionally being bad on defense, Cat does that too.
And actually, wait. Who was worse at that? Julius or Cat?
Julius.
Okay.
I think Julius is worse at that.
Yeah. He was more of a sulker.
Yes. Yes, much more of a sulker. Cat's problem is that he's sitting next to a cameraman when the fucking ball's going down the other way.
Well, he just doesn't get up off the ground quick enough.
He goes to the ground too much, and it takes him so to get. I can understand why it takes that guy a hard time. It's why it's a hard time for that guy to get off the ground. But typically, even when he's trying to hustle and get up, it's just too slow. But I'm not talking about that time where he didn't hustle the other night. But we're just missing edge, and those guys had edge, and that's the thing. If you put the skill around, but you just have a little bit more edge. I mean, really, you could look at it and you could say we could still have Bridges. But just if you just didn't have Cat right now and you had Julius and Dhante, is this team better?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. See, Cat gives you another offensive dimension, Nick, and when he's good, he's great. And, offensively, see, you keep bringing up stuff on offense, but I think that's not the issue here, as we said before.
With the team overall, for sure.
Right. We have to be better defensively. And, would we be better defensively with Julius and with Dhante? Definitely Dhante. And Julius, when he's engaged, was a very good defender.
And,
good.
Easy,
Not good. He was good.
Easy. Okay.
Well, when he was engaged, he was better. Him being engaged is better than Cat being engaged.
I don't know about that. Cat has a more
Julius
of an ability.
was engaged on defense more often. How about that?
Julius was a really bad defender, man.
I think Julius is better.
I think that Cat, both in when you see him at his best, his ability to actually protect the rim and then finish defensive possessions.
That's why Cat's such an enigma, Nick. There are times when I'm like, yeah, Cat, come on now.
Him and Bridges. It's both him and Bridges.
And then there are times where I'm like, just get this guy out of here as soon as possible. I don't want to see him anymore.
But you know what though? One thing I thought was interesting, Minnesota, back when Cat was there, they absolutely shunned Draymond. Like there was some shit where they refused to something. There was something where in support of that's the thing, man. That's so hard for me to understand. And those are the type of things that I feel like just a Dhante or a Julius would not let that happen. And it's not necessarily just about it's not a total sum of the parts. Like this guy is better than this guy. When you look at him statistically, Julius would take some games over a little bit more than I think Cat does offensively. Or maybe Brunson doesn't have it, and Julius has a stint from the fourth quarter. And did you see what Julius did to Wemby the other day?
Yeah.
Where I just need listen, just him looking at Wemby like that and sizing him up and shit. I just need some more of that. That. Play-wise, we need a lot more on the floor, but we just need a little bit more of fucking swag and meanness.
Cat at times, Julius at times when that three starts going, and then Julius could take it to the rim and buff it on you, and that's what I'm saying. Julius would go hard to the rim. If you're going to foul Julius, you're going to foul him. And stop him from making the basket, or he's going to dunk it on you. But Cat, you might be able to block his shot or strip him, and it's a jailbreak the other way because Cat's sprawling.
Let's not get too out of hand and not remember Julius trying to spin in the middle of the court and that being a strip.
No. I'm talking about Julius. There's times where Julius would put his shot and go into the hole, and if he went to the hole, he would go hard. But I'm saying Julius is the kind of guy that he's going, but he's right in here, Nick. He's strong in here, and if you touch him, you're going to have to knock his ass down.
Right, and you're going to be worse for the wear.
Away with some flimsy shit.
You're going to be worse for the wear, even for fouling him.
And if you foul him, you got to bring it. Okay? Guys are looking at ways. I'm telling you, you have to read this quote.
But with Julius, there's a time where, you can just pull the chair and just let him do his thing because he's going to do some crazy.
I'm only talking about Julius.
How many pump fakes?
Screaming straight down from the top of the key. That's it. But also the deal is this with you got to read what Draymond said about Cat after the game. It's really, I'm trying to remember the exact words, Nick.
Paraphrase
it. He said, that, Cat's a great player, blah, 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 blah. But, listen, when you got a guy who's 7 foot and 240, he's just a little soft. And the league realizes that, and everybody plays against him that way. He said something like that, really telling, Nick. And it was like, wow. When I read it, I was like...
Is that telling? I think that's obvious.
It is obvious, but people don't usually say that out loud. But, you see, that's what I'm saying, Nick. You got this dude calling you soft, but after the game, you glad-handed with him.
I don't see. I had. A
Why are you dabbing him up, Nick? Why are you dabbing him up?
I just think everybody dabs.
See, that's bullshit. And
I
again,
agree. I agree. I hate it. I don't like that these guys are all so friendly with each other.
I grew up with dudes bullying people all the time. I used to get bullied, and until you stop it,
not the '70s.
I know, but it doesn't matter. Bullying is bullying, and he's getting bullied.
I hear what you're saying, but I don't.
Has nothing to do whether it's the 70s.
Him giving what I thought was a very cold dap up at the end of the game doesn't really bother me.
So giving a cold dap up is better than not. Just why are you fucking talking to this guy?
Listen, I feel the same way personally, but it's the NBA that we live in today. Everybody daps everybody up.
But
all the
okay,
time.
but he's not doing that. He's doing that because it's the NBA. This guy just tried to grab your fucking ankle, call you soft because you can't come because of some stuff with your woman and all that.
We all dap up Embiid after every game too.
Yeah, Embiid's a clown. But see now, Embiid's a clown in the way he plays and all that. I wouldn't dab him up. But
Embiid's the dirtiest player in the league. He's dirtier than Draymond.
Right, but I don't know, man. I just feel like it's been targeted somewhat. Like, okay, I could see some guys maybe dabbing up Embiid, but not if you're Mitch. And that's why I'm saying Cat, not Draymond. But that's just me.
No, I'm with you.
And Draymond ain't gonna stop bullying. He ain't gonna stop bullying you, okay? Because you gotta stop. You're not gonna. Draymond's not gonna stop bullying you. He doesn't. He tries to bully everyone, and the people that he knows he can bully, he's going to bully and bully and bully and bully more. And that's what he does to Cat every time he sees him, man. Every time you see, I felt like Jimmy Butler was getting in a little bit of, a little bit of something too. He just, he doesn't put on. He didn't put on a good showing last night, and I thought he got.
He didn't. The entire team didn't. The coaches didn't. Nobody did. And let me ask you this: how do you think the atmosphere in the Knicks locker room is right now?
It's got to be kind of sullen, Nick. But I think I don't know.
Do you think Cat holds any animosity towards his teammates for or maybe even well, let me ask one question at a time. Do you think the Cat holds any animosity towards his teammates for last night and the whole thing with Draymond?
No.
Or do you think that there's a chance that like Brunson holds any animosity for like the times he's been knocked down recently and nobody? Because all this like they don't all the shit that we're seeing on Twitter and everything, they see all that shit too.
Right, but I don't think Cat holds any animosity towards his teammates because, dude, you didn't do anything about it. Okay, the guy grabbed your ankle. You didn't get up and react at all. I fully expected Cat to get up and react immediately and maybe have to be held back. Something. But he didn't react at all. So I don't see me getting upset with my teammates because they didn't do anything unless I was like out of commission on a sideline or knocked into stands or the audience. But he got up and he just kindly walked to the foul line.
I wish that somebody would have stepped to him right there, but I more so wish that just like after the game that guys weren't like best friends with him. And
I wish that
too. That to me almost bothers me because I understand like, listen, you don't necessarily want to get a tech, and I do think that sometimes that shit it's valuable. Go ahead and get a tech, but I get that some guys don't necessarily want to get a tech in a particular situation, and I feel like. But I just don't understand how this happens. And after the game, everybody's cool. And in the post game, nobody's bringing it up. And also, I think that Mike Brown, like, especially with some of this, I get holding Cat accountable, but I think there's some balance to that where you hold him accountable, but you also sometimes say like, hey, like I don't think he's been getting the most fair whistle here recently when it comes to these referees. And also, this guy Draymond's an asshole. It's just. It's very distressing.
It's frustrating that nobody says anything to him, but I think Cat was the one who was aggrieved, and he didn't choose to take any kind of action in any kind of way. Well, not even a mean look.
No, I mean no. He after that, him and Draymond had a back and forth where they had to be separated later on, like during the game, during a timeout. There's video of it everywhere. They, people had to come and get in between them.
See now, there's where Cat, See, if I'm feeling like Cat, do me a favor now. In that situation like that, Draymond's on your back. Okay, after that, you turn around and take the tech if you can give him an elbow to the jaw.
Right.
And okay,
well, he got called to the jaw.
And if he wants to swing on you, let's fucking go.
Yeah. Well, he got called for a tech like 1 second later. I mean, got called for a foul which, by the way,
was a bullshit call.
Bullshit.
But that's what I'm saying. It's like. You get like a wasted tech. Well, it wasn't even fair. It wasn't fair.
But they didn't give it a. They didn't end up giving him a flagrant. They
Right.
They didn't give him
Right,
a
that's
flagrant.
right, that's right,
They
that's
didn't
right.
give him
They
a
threw
flagrant.
that out.
But I
Right.
mean, he's holding the ball like this. What's he supposed to do? Go like this to avoid the guy? The guy. I mean, he had.
Yeah, no.
He
That was a bad
didn't
call.
have his arm like this at all. It was just
Right.
like this.
And obviously the refs saw that, so they turned
No,
it.
but it still ended up being a foul.
Right.
How's it a foul? You got to be entitled. You got to have entitlement to your physical space. It's not even
agree.
like when you grab a rebound, you're supposed to be able to go like this.
Yeah.
if anybody comes in-
That's
it was
a
like
judgment
this.
call. I don't think I can see how possibly you might make a bad judgment on that. I don't see how possibly you could make a judgment that was a flagrant foul. That I can't see at all.
I get it in real time how maybe you think, oh, well, you see a guy get elbowed in the head, but
Right.
also, come on. I mean, but
Right.
when they review that, they should be able to review that part of it too and be able to be like, actually, you know what? That wasn't a foul.
Right.
They fucking review everything else, it seems like. The Knicks just got to get it together, man. They got to figure it out. And let's keep in mind also, Indiana had a worse record than we do right now last year.
Yeah, okay.
You know, trade-wise, who do you want to see? Let's, forget the Giannis situation. Let's say we keep the core together. Where's the biggest place that we can improve? Is there anybody that you have top of mind that you think could fit that bill?
We need some more. We need some aggressive wings, Nick. We need some aggressive wings. I don't know what we do there. I frankly, I got to tell you, I don't see how we're not just juicing up and ginning up this guy Diawara and getting him out there. I mean, he's one of our longest guys. But also, too, Nick, we just need guys like that body type. We don't need any more 6 foot tall, 6'1" guys. Okay, we just can't. We can't. Because, like I'm saying,
I don't know. I think a guy that's that height that can keep a guy in front of him.
like who though, Nick?
This guy Alvarado.
Right, but no, I'm not saying who. I knew you were going to say Alvarado, but Nick, you keep saying keep some guy in front of you, but the guys he can keep in front of him, they better be 6'4" or under because they'll shoot over him.
But what I'm saying is that opposing point guards who are small, they get past us, and if they don't get all the way to the rim and lay it up, now someone's having to help and they're swinging it to a wide open player.
That's a
we
problem.
need more point of attack defense. It's one of the things that Deuce and Josh Hart are probably our best point of attack defenders, and they have periods where they're not that great at it.
No.
I feel like as far as wings, you got this guy Sadiq Bey, you got this guy out of Dallas that we were just talking about.
Yes,
honestly, Dad, listen, depending on what you can get back, at this point, I'm getting to the point where I'm feeling like I'm willing to move Bridges. And I like Bridges, and
Bridges for what?
I don't know.
That's just it, Nick.
Somebody with a little bit of edge. Like right now, look. See, do I think that overall Bridges? You know what? I can't.
I think Bridges is a good player,
Dad,
Nick.
there was
We
a time,
just
Dad,
need something to complement him.
No, we need something.
A hard
to
ankle type to complement his softness.
Yeah, sure. Dad, is Bridges a better player than Dante DiVincenzo?
Yes. See,
When you think about this, Dad,
now you're
this is what
becoming
I'm
Hot Take Jones again.
Look. This is what I'm asking you. Because Dante DiVincenzo, there's a couple things that he does for your team that I think are hard to measure. One of them is that he's got infinite range, and he stands over there, and he has such a quick release that he gives you so much space. You know what I'm saying? Like, especially with a guy like Brunson next to him, if you want to help off Dante DiVincenzo, he could be standing at the hash and kick it to him, and he can shoot that shot and he can hit it.
Dante's not as good a defender as Bridges.
He's not as good at it but
Who's a better rebounder?
Hold on. He's a more pesky defender than Bridges is.
Definitely more passionate.
Bridges is going to affect other people more and challenge guys at the rim and shit like that more just because of his sheer size. But we've seen Bridges all of a sudden start getting caught on screens a lot more like he was last year. At the beginning of this year, this wasn't the case.
I know.
So what happened?
That's what I'm saying, Nick. Don't give up. It's been a month. A bad month.
But what happened?
I don't know, man. Just take her easy.
I can't take it easy, yo. This is fucking driving me insane. The fact that we dropped all that fucking money to go see that game and they bullshitted themselves like that.
Dude,
and then
see, I'm sorry, but spending that kind of money on that game, I just felt like a sap.
See, I don't feel that way. Come on, man.
You take the chance to win or lose.
You had season tickets. How often did you go and you fucking, you got saw bad? You were there for the double nickel. But you were spending crazy money then.
Right.
Did you feel like a sap after the double nickel?
Period.
After Jordan's double nickel, did you feel like a sap?
No, because I
Exactly.
didn't care. I was walking down the street throwing $20 bills in the air.
Ah,
Yeah, right.
everything's
Not
relative. You know, at the end of the day, it was a good experience just because, you know, me, 3 generations of
Listen, I had a
Goodrich men
great
at the game.
experience. Me and your son, we had a ball. So that was good, except for the mac and cheese. But it was good.
Yo, the mac and cheese at that restaurant.
Disgusting.
We were at like some Irish pub. We won't say their name, but they, you know, my son is like a mac and cheese kind of. The mac and
Irish
cheese
pub.
gets the. I thought the food overall was
The burger
pretty
wasn't
good.
bad.
My you know I had like the steak frit and I thought it was pretty good. But my son is like a mac and cheese connoisseur. The boy loves mac and cheese everywhere he goes. You know, he travels the world looking for the best mac and cheese. His favorite is still his grandmother's. But yo, they get this mac and cheese, and you and my son are splitting it, and both of you are like, this is not good. And I when you said that, I was like, it's probably not that good. And I tried it. It was
the worst
so
mac and cheese
bland.
ever. It was so bad.
There was no. It didn't even
So
taste
bad.
cheesy. It was just like creamy,
was
but it
firm.
wasn't cheesy. There was no type of crust to it at all, or even like a
Macaroni
a
was
crumb.
not even stuck together.
Right.
It was insane.
Like if it was dead silent in there and you were like stirring that around, you wouldn't hear the mac and cheese.
Oh no, it was a really bad scene.
I don't expect the Irish to be the best at making mac and cheese. Let's be serious. Let's call some coffee. Let's own up to some stereotypes. But still, that was especially bad. Yeah.
Bueno.
The Knicks were even worse and continue to have been worse. Now Saturday they get a rematch against this Phoenix team that just embarrassed them.
Dylan Brooks, Devin Booker.
And your boy Jalen Brunson has been upgraded to questionable. Another thing that we got to be worried about is he's spraining his ankle just dribbling a ball.
Dude, I saw that and I was like, wait a minute. That was very scary, Nick. I mean, what that made me think
tells
of
you
is
it's not stable, clearly.
no. And what's this going to be like 5 years from now?
What do you mean?
Well, I mean, he might only get weaker, Nick, and a little less nimble. That was concerning because nobody was close to
He sprained
him.
his ankle recently.
I know, but
He
nobody was
missed time
close
for
to
it.
him, and then he just like stepped on the top of his foot and like rolled over and was like, ah.
Yeah.
It was not a good look, Nick.
It
was not
doesn't,
a good look.
but it doesn't make me think that he's going to get weaker with age. First of all, everybody gets weaker with age to a certain extent. But,
Exactly.
I think that he just recently had a really bad ankle sprain, and I'm sure it's not like he let it get all the way better before he started playing again. And it's
Well,
still
then maybe he needs to because that was an unforced error.
him being questionable
banana
for
peel on the
tomorrow.
court.
Him being questionable for tomorrow's game, I feel as though he. Maybe take a little bit more time off, JB. We need to make sure that this
and
ankle.
have Dylan Brooks come dive at your ankle or some shit.
We need to make sure that this ankle is all the way better. It's not something that we can't sustain him having an injury, like especially a non-contact injury like that, in the playoffs. But again, Pacers made it to Game 7 of the finals last year. They had a worse record this time. I do think that we need to inject some life in this team with a trade. I don't know exactly who the guy is. Yabu, you got to go. Yabu, I mean, there's nothing he does well. He doesn't shoot
but
well.
He's
He
not
doesn't
bringing anything back either.
He doesn't shoot well. He doesn't defend well. There's just nothing Yabu does well.
No, except belly up to the buffet.
Yo, man. Yabu, the expanding Yabu. He's expanding. His game is shrinking. Yeah, it's bad. Nice to see Landry Shamet back.
Yeah.
One of our best, on-ball defenders. Obviously, he can shoot it, and just he has a zest that he plays with.
He does. He plays hard, quick release. I like Shamet. I'd like to be able to hold on to him.
You know what I thought about? When we first at the beginning of last season, when we started to really, get acquainted with Cat, we both talked about how he plays with such a joy to the game, and it's like compared to Julius's like kind of surliness sometimes. It was refreshing to watch him play with such a joy. And I tell you, man, sometimes you don't understand until you can see it for a while, but it's like, I need a little less joy.
I
need a little bit more surliness.
Right. I need more surliness, edge, as you said. But also, too, we need, he just, I don't know. Yeah, like you say, we need more surliness. joy, but he doesn't seem to be quite as joyful lately. I mean, I don't know, Nick. It's really hard to
Oh, he
read
definitely
that
does
guy's
not
mind.
seem to be quite as joyful lately when we're not playing well. But occasionally when he makes some crazy pass, that underhand pass that he made in the Phoenix game, where he got and he flips it up to Bridges. There's times where we do some shit where we're
Amazing.
like bung bung bung,
Amazing.
Bridges layup.
Let's go.
It's like, let's go.
But again, Nick, we don't do it consistently.
We don't do it
We
consistently.
do it for 6-minute spurts, and then we ease up. We don't. And I don't know how Brown has to notice that in game time and be up these guys' ass. Like, Brown's really good at calling people out clearly, publicly. But is he getting in the huddle and saying to these guys, let's
We
go,
have seen him do that sometimes.
blah, blah,
There's
blah.
been
I don't know.
footage.
I haven't seen it.
There's been footage of him doing that. I think that, in the
game?
in the NBA Cup game. In the NBA Cup game, at one point where we weren't playing that well against the Spurs. Remember, we were down for a lot of that game.
So maybe
he really started getting after him and shit and smacking his clipboard and whatnot. And yeah, we need more of that from him. That's the type of thing you can only go to the well so often.
Exactly. You can't do that too much because then it's like, okay, here he goes into his act again.
But somebody needs to do it.
Or
somebody
right. Team leaders need to do it.
You're hoping that in these off days when they're sitting there, I hope that Cat does get a little bit fucking annoyed with these guys. They need a little bit more contention even amongst themselves, I think. Just a little bit more, where they're challenging each other. Something has to change. And I don't know if that's, bringing
There's
in
a lot
somebody.
of clips of Bridges getting on Cat defensively.
There is some times where he has, 100%. But, Bridges ain't got no room to be getting on anybody about anything right now, all right? He needs to be better. Even in the game last night where he ends up having over 20 points, there's still a level of aggression that's just missing. There's no Brunson out there. Bridges, go get 40. Go get 40.
Right.
OG is being aggressive. OG is putting pressure. Going to the
I
hole
have to
hard
give
and
it to him.
finishing.
OG's going to the hole hard. I just don't like his passes in the paint.
No, when he tries to do that little scoop around shit like a Mitch.
Doing? What are you doing? First of all, if Mitch got that ball, he wouldn't know what to do with it. Number one. Number two, the chances of it getting to Mitch cleanly are like 0.000. I was screaming at the TV, what are you doing? Oh, my God.
Yeah, I'm sitting there watching it like, what is that bat? Quick.
But man, there's some moves to the hoop he makes that I think he's about to get punched, and he's finishing at.
He's pretty good at getting going crazy, and then at the very end, just being soft. He's gotten better at that.
He's gotten better. He's definitely gotten better. He does barrel to the hoop a little bit, but he doesn't seem to get called for offensive fouls too often, and it's working. So let's go.
Yeah, OG gave a good game offensively. I think Brunson being upgraded to questionable the day before the game, that tells me that he's probably going to play. And Brunson is sitting there watching that game yesterday, and he's like, I have to get back on the fucking court.
Well, listen, Nick, our offense is,
joke without
and people always gripe about Brunson dribbling the ball too much. Listen, man, our offense is much better when he's on the court. There's just no way around it.
You need his gravity.
He makes everybody better.
You need his absolute ability to make shots. If another guy was to hit the shots that Brunson routinely hits, you'd be like, oh my God, this guy's having a fucking game. And that's just Brunson's normal.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And as soon as it's not there, you definitely notice. But it'll be interesting to see what happens against the Suns. And then, moving forward, it's about finding some level of consistency. And I hope that, as we've seen many times, in 1 week we can come back and be like, we figured it out. Let's go. Mike Brown is the man. And I hope that this is one of those weeks. But honestly, with this team and how they've kind of been up and down, I need to see it for a little bit longer before I get really excited. And I do think that there has to be some, I don't know what the move is exactly. Leon, I trust in you. We got to make a move. We got to do something. We got to inject some life into this team.
It'll be nice.
So, I have this iguana that I named Alonzo. Well,
bad idea.
Breaking news, folks. There's been a name change.
Bichette?
His name is Bo.
Well, see, if he's an iguana and he don't come to his name anyway, you can change his name.
Iguanas can definitely learn their names. I've seen plenty of videos of adult iguanas who know their names, and Bo will know his name very often because he's going to be hearing it screamed all next season because the Mets finally made a move. Your boy Tucker, he left him at the altar. He had your boy Steve out there getting a little bit ahead of his skis, talking about
But kind of foolish.
It kind of makes sense though, where he says, they're waiting on a decision. That's what he was saying.
Right.
I still don't think it was the smartest thing, just because you got to understand people are gonna, And then I think that Uncle Stevie came in today and was like, "Motherfucker, you better go sign somebody.
Right.
We need to sign somebody right now." Right. Bo Bichette is a Met. 3 years, 126 million?
Yeah, like 42 million a year.
42 million a year. Kyle Tucker goes to the Dodgers. The Dodgers, man, they're going to get to a point where they're going to have somebody who's like, making $30-40 million dollars, who's like their utility player.
What's his name? Sugar is the 8th. Well, we don't call him Sugar anymore. Edwin Martinez is the 8th highest paid player on the team.
Edwin Martinez. Who's Edwin Martinez then?
Right?
Edwin Diaz.
Whatever, same thing. But he's the 8th highest paid player on the team.
8th highest paid player on the team. You know what? Before we get into the Mets side of things, what this Kyle Tucker thing says to me, because the Mets, the deal that they offered him was actually a higher AAV.
Well, I mean,
yes,
what was it?
I've heard it broke. I heard Carton break. I don't know the exact numbers, but I heard Carton break it down. He's going to opt out after the first 2 years. It would have been a higher AAV than
right,
what he
because
got.
they were giving him a signing bonus and no deferred money to Mets do.
Right. So what it tells me is both when it comes to Sugar and when it comes to this guy Kyle Tucker, they picked the Dodgers just because they want a chance to win.
That's right.
And okay, I mean, hey,
right.
if you're the Mets,
you can't begrudge them that.
You go out there, you try your best, but we're not that team where people are just, fawning to come over to us right now. We're lucky that we were able to make it happen with Soto somehow, and he didn't end up a Dodger. But listen, adding Bo Bichette with his defense on the infield and his hitting over 300 and being a guy that you can immediately just drop into that 3-hole. It goes from being like one of the worst Mets off seasons in the history of anything to you start to feel a whole lot better about it.
So
now.
Who's batting cleanup for us right
now? Polanco.
Yeah.
Polanco's batting fourth. Lindor.
Wait, and Polanco's playing where? First?
First, yeah.
And you're putting what? Where?
Bo's at third.
Beatty.
I'm sorry, Bo's at third. Now, this is the question when it comes to a Beatty. Can Beatty start playing some first? Now Polanco is playing some DH. Vientos is playing some DH. Beatty. Those three of them, it's all a question about who's playing what, where, when.
Can Beatty? I heard maybe Beatty can play some left.
I don't know if he can or not.
Well, I heard some guys talk about that.
I remember last year them talking about the fact that he's
worked out in left field. He can play some left.
Yeah, that they had him do. Beatty's a young athletic guy. I'm sure
I think Beatty's a player, man. I think Beatty's a good player. I do
too.
See him
I do too. And I was okay with Beatty being my everyday third baseman, honestly.
And they're saying this guy Benji.
People saying that they think he's going to be up at
that.
I've seen
he's going to get a shot.
What I saw was that they're thinking he might be the left fielder. You know what is a good thing? Is to come into spring training and be like, hey, there's going to be some spots that guys just got to come out here and win.
Right.
That's a good thing.
I thought Benji may be center field. Benji.
Tyrone Taylor is going to be
no, he's not going to be the starter. Right.
He'll be the fourth. I don't know about that.
Listen, if Tyrone Taylor is our starting center fielder, come on, maybe this guy. I'm hoping this guy Carson Benji can push him and get
I don't know
up
if it's Bang or Bengi. I don't know.
I heard people say Bengi, so I don't know if it's Bengi or Benji.
I think Bengi sounds about right. Let's go with that.
Okay, Bengi. I don't know if he's. I heard he could play center field, and Tyrone Taylor's good, Nick. I love him. I love that guy, but his bat is just woeful.
Woeful.
At times, when he gets hot. That guy hits the ball very hard. He never gets cheated with his swing. I love that guy.
Yeah.
And his fielding is, listen, he's one of the best center fielders we've had since Endy. Really.
Yeah.
Since Endy Chavez, he's the best.
Oh, Carlos Beltran.
Yeah, Beltran was great. Beltran
was.
Going up the hill in Houston.
Yeah. Listen, I'm just happy that we finally made a signing. And honestly, I like Bo Bichette more than I like Kyle Tucker.
Yeah, it may be.
Bo Bichette really had that 1 year where he didn't play much, but other than that, not last year, but the season before that, he was dealing with injuries. But other than that, he's been fairly durable. This guy, Kyle Tucker, has not. And I mean, he's just a young guy. He's a guy that brings some energy to him. And we lost that. And you know what? Clearly, and I heard Craig Carton talk about this. He said 100% absolutely Donald Trump had something to do with this team not having a harmonious locker room last year. And he says when you look at when you look at the moves that have been made, that I mean, it's clear that they were trying to make this a more a more harmonious clubhouse. And
How do
honestly,
you know that? How do you even know what Bo Bichette's politics are? Or
well, that's actually the question that McGonigal, or however you say his name, that's the question that he asked Carton, because Carton was saying that, listen, and Carton was like, he said, do you think that there's a chance that the Mets like checked into that part of it, like checked into how he feels politically before they decide to bring him in? Realized that really this
but
was
how do you know that that's why they get part of the reason why they got rid of?
Oh no, because Carton specifically, but multiple people, and Carton has always been a guy. He's got somebody on the inside when it comes to the Mets. He's always been that guy. That he's there's stuff that it's proven. He's got somebody. He's got some sources inside that inside that clubhouse or inside that organization, and he said that was a major issue on this team last year. Where there's a lot of and hey, we've gotten to we usually talk just sports on here, but we've gotten to a point in this current situation where it's hard to just be like, all right, well, this guy votes for this guy and I vote for that guy, and we don't let that affect how we feel about each other personally.
Yeah, but
things have gotten personal.
No, but you know what, Nick? See, I think that's bullshit, because we all work every day with people who we disagree with politically, and you have to move past that. And
but we all don't have wives who are as politically active as, say, like a Lindor is, and we all don't necessarily get into aggressive conversations with each other about these things if we know we don't disagree.
Right.
And it's, from everything I'm seeing, it seems like specifically McNeil and was that guy. And
oh well,
and
if you got one guy who's that guy, and you're bringing in other people,
now Pete and Nimmo are speaking up too, and this becomes a thing that's very contentious. Mm-hmm. And I just listen. I wish that wasn't an issue. Like you said, I have no idea who I don't know how Bo Bichette feels, but I'm pretty sure I know how some of the
Polanco, any of these guys. You have no idea how they feel.
You have no idea. But that has been reported to have been a major issue in the Mets clubhouse last year, and it seems as if the Mets have picked a side when it comes to that. And it does. I mean, you can't look at the three guys who left.
I didn't get that interpretation, but I mean, they've just gotten some players, and I don't.
The guy from Wyoming, the guy from Florida, and the guy who we know is a big Trump guy are all gone. And that's
to you
doesn't.
But first of all, I didn't even know what's his name was a big Trump guy.
McNeil, yes.
McNeil, and just because Pete's from Florida, I don't know what his politics is. I don't know what this guy's politics is from Wyoming. We can make guesses at that, and which would be stereotypical, but I have no idea, and I really don't even think
it's not a guess. People have reported this. People have talked about this.
Well, all right. Well, that doesn't make it absolutely so. And I don't, I don't really care about that, because I think there's a lot of teams in this league, Nick, in every league, that you have many differing feelings on the team, and good teams get past that bullshit, Nick, because every team has diversity in their locker room.
Oh, I agree
and
with
if
that.
they don't, if they can't handle it, then they ain't going far. And if we couldn't handle it, well, then that's our problem. And I
think that's why we made the moves that we've done.
Well,
to try to alleviate
that's
that
concerning
problem.
To me, though, that if somebody like a Lindor is supposed to be a captain or whatever, that that we couldn't get our leadership together enough to just say, "Hey, guys, we're here to play ball. We're not here to debate politics." And put up a sign or something. No politics. Like where I work, which is a trading desk, and the guys are screaming stuff all the time. That was a rule made. No politics. Nobody talks about politics out loud. I know how people feel about things who sit right next to me and right behind me. And they're friends of mine. We talk, but I know we disagree vehemently with a lot of things. But we don't go there because we don't need to.
I hear you. Clearly, they couldn't not go there last year.
And if they can't, then that might not bode well going forward. So now every team, every player you bring in has to fit a certain mold.
They just maybe have to not be the people who go there.
But that's
they can
what I'm
feel
saying.
a certain way, but if they're the people who they can't feel a certain way without making it a contentious thing, and that person, you come and you have those team meetings and you say, "Hey guys, let's not do this," but they can't not do that.
Right.
Then you say, "All right, well, you know what? We need to switch things up. We need to remove those. We need to remove those people."
And I guess you do your research and you talk to people on teams that this guy's played on before. Is he this kind of guy? Blah blah blah. Okay.
Or maybe you even just talk to him about it. You talk to him about it.
No, but I think you need to talk. I think what you're saying is you need to talk to other people, because there are many people, Nick, who will say, "Oh yeah, I can control that." I've dealt with people who say on different chats, as you know, oh, yeah, that's not a big deal. And then a week later, they're spouting off and they can't control it. So you would obviously, if you're going to do due diligence like that, you may talk to the guy straight up. Obviously, you will. But you'll also talk to people who've been around him. And, all these guys have investigative services and shit. I'm looking to that.
Yeah. I don't know. I think that obviously they felt like, whatever the case may be with the clubhouse, that there's definitely needed to be a change and like a mood and a vibe shift. Now they just need to go out and get at least one more top of the line starting pitcher. And that becomes more and more difficult to do via free agency because of the compensatory picks that we'd already have to give up with the signing of Bichette and then one other guy. But I feel like there needs to be a trade made, and then that's where you could see like a Beatty and maybe a Sproat going to bring back an arm.
Well, this guy Framber Valdez is still available, no?
But what I'm saying is that we have to give up picks.
If we sign him?
Yes. Yes. This would be like our second and our sixth round pick, I think.
So give him a
baseball picks aren't that big of a deal.
Our farm system can take it right now. We got a very strong farm. So.
Yeah. Stearns doesn't seem like the guy that would do that though. But I would be totally for it. We got to get another arm for sure. And the bullpen I feel pretty good about. It's just always about health, and it's also about a guy like Mania. Which Mania are you going to be? Mania from 2 years ago or Mania from last year?
Right.
He got hurt right at the beginning of last year, and it seems like he was never able
to come back strong.
Senga. You never know with this guy. When he pitches, he can be pretty good. But then when he's injured and he comes back, all of a sudden,
But without Pete throwing him the ball at first base, should be okay.
Should be okay, right? Should be okay. Did Dhante Moore feel like he needed to play a little bit more time in college, get some more experience, or did he just not want to be a New York Jet?
I'm sorry. I don't even think. Who knows? Who cares? If he decided not to come out because he didn't want to be a Jet, I think that's a foolish way to look at things, because I think he did need to go back. I think he did need another year of seasoning. I think everybody felt that way. And frankly, as a Jet fan, I'm glad he's not coming out, because I feel like the Jets would have felt almost forced to pick him, because you can't miss on him if he's the, this, that, and the other thing with the second pick. And then, as you've said many times, when you're the second pick, you got to play. I don't think this kid will be ready to play for anybody next September, Nick. Okay, regardless of who we got drafted for. So I don't think he would have been ready. So I'm glad the Jets won't have to pick him. And with the second pick another player who really can impact your team. And then listen, my personal choice right now, Nick, is a little later pick this boy Chambliss if you can. I like him, man.
6 feet tall.
I know he's a little shorter, but that's why you take a flyer on him. Listen, man.
No, he's going to go in the first round.
Right. So maybe you get him at 16 or
16.
Maybe you get him at 16, or maybe you take a third round pick and put that with 16 and move up to 12. I don't flip it, no.
Yeah,
but I wouldn't mind getting that guy. And listen, Nick, if we don't get that guy, we got to take a quarterback. Take Ty Simpson. Take Ty Simpson out of Alabama. He's okay, but again, not that many starts. Only like 20 starts.
Yeah, but to me, that's something that you can get a little bit later. We're talking about second, maybe third round when it comes to him.
Right.
That I'm okay with. Taking this guy Chambliss in the first round, I think, is ridiculous. He's 6 feet tall. You know how I feel about that. That's a dead stop for me when it comes to being tiny.
Got a little something.
He's tiny. A little something. Exactly. A little tiny something.
But wait,
he is. He's 6 feet tall.
But you're always screaming Shador. How tall is Shador?
Shador
not even 6'2".
Shador's 6'1.5" maybe.
You know that Shador's
I would have liked to get Shador in the third round last year.
Right,
you know what I
mean? You're saying he's got skills. I mean, you can have skills at 6 foot.
I wouldn't take any quarterback under 6'3" in the first round.
I usually won't too, but
not just a first round pick. I need a first round pick to be a guy who's going to be the Jets need players, man. We need fucking a guy who's going to play. I don't need a first round pick who's going to be a project. Fuck that. No. Definitely not. I wouldn't take this guy Chambliss. I don't know who they take. They got to take best player. And also, the other thing that I think that we're not taking into account is when the season ended the year before, say, a Josh Allen got drafted. At this point of the season, was everybody talking about this kid Josh Allen? He could go. No, exactly. There's a whole lot of things can happen. There could be some big, tall, corn-fed dude somewhere.
A lot of people were screaming, this guy Josh Allen, not so good. He played at Wyoming. They don't play a great schedule, Nick. You
No,
know,
of
they
course
do
not.
not
Of course
play a great schedule. So, like he played against bums, or
Yeah.
not so
No,
straight
people
guys.
said about him.
And it turns out that he's pretty damn good.
It's pretty good. He got developed well.
Yes.
He got good players put around
Right,
him.
'cause early
but
on-
also he's also massive.
Right.
Like
early
to me,
on,
like that's just that
helps.
That
helps,
changes
Nick.
everything when a guy
But
is
look,
that
hold
big
on.
and that strong.
Who's this boy from Houston? C.J. Stroud. He tried to throw the game away the other day. But who's the other guy? The other young guy I'm thinking about. Not C.J. Stroud. The guy who came out the year before or after him.
Jaden Daniels.
No, not him. He's taller. But the other guy.
What a small
Well, there's
guy.
Carolina. Who's the quarterback for Carolina?
What's his name? Jesus. Now you're gonna make me look like an
See,
idiot because I can't think of this
C.J.
guy's name.
Stroud is Houston.
No, stop saying CJ Stroud because I keep wanting to say CJ Stroud too. I know who you're talking about, the little skinny guy. He sucked last year. This year he played better.
Yeah.
He played pretty good against us.
How tall is my man Bake?
Baker's tiny, but I don't want Baker.
Okay, well, Baker's pretty good, though.
He's
I surely
okay.
would have been.
He's okay.
Baker's a little better than okay, Nick. He's in the top half of quarterbacks in the league when he's healthy. There's no doubt.
Yeah.
Dude, you remember the first half of the season? How much people he was crushing?
Yeah, and he got broke up because he's small.
He didn't get broke up because he's small, Nick. He's a bit of a thickums. He just got caught a hot one in the ribs.
Dad, he's always hurt.
No, he's not. Baker doesn't have a huge
No.
injury history.
Not injured, hurt. He's
Yeah,
always
he gets hurt, but he's a tough guy. He plays through. All these guys are hurt,
You
Nick.
just
But
love Baker.
I think Baker's pretty good, and he's just down with the short. He's a short king.
Short. Yeah. What is that kid's name? He's short. Bryce Young.
Bryce Young is pretty good, Nick. Cam Ward.
Bryce Young,
Cam
too
Ward's
small.
like 6'1", 6'2", max.
But Cam Ward has absurd arm talent though.
This guy Chambliss has absurd arm
Not
talent.
like
Nick.
Cam Ward.
He does.
Not like Cam Ward. No, he doesn't.
Does, Nick.
No, he doesn't.
And he can run better than Cam Ward.
Yeah,
He can run, he can move.
That's the other thing. I don't want a guy who can run.
I want a guy.
I don't even want a guy who can run. I want a guy who
want-
it's like running's not his strong suit. I want a guy who's in the pocket. I want a tall guy who's in the pocket. I don't
I need
want
a guy who can run.
some 6'4" guy who can run.
Ideally, give me a guy like your man down in Jacksonville, who's tall, can stand in the pocket, but then he can run if necessary.
Trevor Lawrence?
Yes, he can move if
he
necessary.
can move if
Give me
necessary.
Arch Manning, who's 6'3", 6'4", has got a rocket for an arm, and he can run.
Arch Manning.
Yeah, next year I'm talking. Your Arch Manning can run,
I
Nick.
can't talk about next year. Who fucking cares about next year?
Well, what I'm saying
Or
is
2
that
seasons
type
from
of
now.
guy.
No.
That type of guy.
No. I
need a
like
guy who
Arch
can
Manning
run
because
and is big.
because he's big. But a guy who can run is one thing. A guy who is like a running quarterback, I'm out on that.
Chambliss is not that guy. Chambliss is not a running quarterback.
That's Chambliss.
He can run, though.
No.
Okay.
He's 5'10".
Make a note of this, folks. I'm pro Chambliss.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, yeah. You've been real good at picking quarterbacks recently. Yo, man. I don't know. The Jets. We'll see. Listen. I think that if the Patriots had the second pick, I think this boy Dhante Moore would come out. I think that if this was like when they picked Drake May and they were like high at the top of the draft or whatever, I do think that the Jets being the likely team that was going to pick him, I definitely think it factored into his decision. I just don't see that. It would be silly for it not to. If you're him or you're his people, how could you not consider that?
Because you're going to lose about $40 million.
Yeah, but
He gets about $5 million there. He's
I'm
going
not
to
saying
make
it's
$20
the
million
sole
a year.
reason. I'm saying that he's going back, and he's saying, "Hey, I want to go back." But I'm sure part of it was like, "Do you really want to go to the Jets?" And I think that I think that is a logical and probably smart decision. If you're thinking about the team that you can go to, there's no team that you would There's no team that you would want to go to less than the New York Jets. I just think that that's a fact that we have to be realistic about and not look at it as fans. I wish it wasn't the case. I hope they change it.
I think you're absolutely looking at it as a fan. You're looking at it as a beaten down, downtrodden Jet fan.
No, because
feels
there's
like,
plenty
woe
of
is
people.
me, my team sucks.
No.
And the Patriots
so
are
Todd
my
McShay
daddy.
is not a Jet fan. Todd McShay is not a Jet fan, and he has the exact
but
same.
maybe he's a
opinion.
Jets hater.
I think
I don't know.
I think that's just I think that's logical. I wouldn't want my. I would love it if my kid could make it to the NFL, if my kid was a quarterback and it was right now and the teams I would really if you asked me what teams would I like him to go to or not go to, realizing that any team that's picking at the top of the draft is going to be, on hard times at the moment, I'd be like, I really hope he doesn't end up on the Jets or on the Browns.
So why would Mendoza come out and go to the Raiders?
I think that
What's been so great about the Raiders with quarterbacks in the last 25 years?
what's been so great about them with quarterbacks?
They haven't developed a quarterback at all.
Yeah, but they're not as bad as the Jets. They don't have quarterbacks. They don't have a ton of quarterbacks who have sucked there and then they don't have quarterbacks who have sucked there and then gone on and been very good other places. They don't have quarterbacks who have been good, come there, have their worst years and then go on and play better. It's just, it's yeah.
I don't think Mendoza thought twice when it came to going to the Raiders, and I think he's making a smart move. I think if you're a competitor, you go there and you feel you can be the difference and you try to make the difference and you get paid. But, I don't think any of us will ever know why Dhante Moore made the decision. And I think, it's just fodder. But, hey, everyone has a thought or an opinion.
Yeah. What do you think about the championship game?
I think Indiana's going to smash them.
Smash them.
I do.
Miami's
you know what?
defense
Miami's
has been
defense has played
very
really well, but I think ultimately, Indiana wins by double digits. I really do. I think they'll win by 10 or more.
Indiana seems like such a complete team right now. I mean, everybody wants to talk about
Cignetti's
Fernando
got them
Mendoza,
geared
but the running game, the defense, they've really looked just like a total complete team. They seem extremely confident. Their coach gives off all the confidence and hubris in the world, and they're just they look like the team. But championship games especially, defense, running game, quite often. That could be the reason. And this Miami team, they have been the underdog and have been doubted throughout this entire college football playoff. And the last thing I was going to say is they're playing a home game, man.
Yeah.
It's that the people are saying that they think that Indiana's going to really show out because they and some of the early ticket buying, it seems like Indiana is buying quite a few, a large percentage. I did see somebody from what's his name, Miami, put like how much harder it is to get into Miami as a school than it is to get to Indiana. So it's like they're like, of course, there's a lot more alumni.
Right, but I mean, let's not get it twisted though. Indiana University is an excellent school. Miami University also an excellent school, but it's only 7,000 students.
Exactly,
7,000 students. But I think that IU is going to show out because it's such a watershed moment in their history. If you're a big IU fan, you're there. Nothing. If you have any kind of wherewithal, you're there as an IU fan right now. But it's at the Hard Rock, which is a beautiful stadium. I was there earlier this year. That is a very, very nice stadium. But I still think IU is going to smoke them.
What did you think about Wild Card Weekend? What was your biggest takeaway from Wild Card Weekend? Very, very good weekend of football.
Yes, excellent weekend of football. My biggest takeaway, Nick, is this Houston defense is dangerous, man. They're not just good; they hit hard. They're aggressive. They're violent. They're everything I'd want the Jets to be on defense. Okay, their defense. They just have great players, Nick, and the way they fly around out there. Listen. I'm incredibly impressed with their defense, and I have them beating New England this weekend.
3-point dogs against New England. They play on Sunday, and you think
the only thing that concerns me is the quarterback and the fumbleitis.
Yeah, CJ Stroud has got to play a cleaner game.
Gotcha.
But I wouldn't be surprised if Houston won the Super Bowl just because that team again with the defense, and then they got a pretty good running game as well, and their defense wears teams down.
Oh man, Nick, you saw it by the end of the game. These guys didn't want any part of them, and they that's what I'm saying. This guy just has to play a clean game, hand the ball off. They should make him not throw the ball not even 20 times. No more than 20 times, if you could stand it, obviously.
This guy had the best rookie year of any quarterback in the history not too long ago. I still got some faith in CJ Stroud. I
do too. I think he's a good quarterback. I just think last week he was nervous. He was very nervous. I was watching the game here with two big Steelers fans.
He's been in the playoffs. He's been in the playoffs every year of his career.
He played like his hands were so shaky he couldn't hold a ball. And there were times when it's like, dude, you feel all these guys around you like piranhas, and you're still trying to just go to the ground and hold the ball. Like they always say, you are holding the franchise in your hands right now.
Yeah. Yeah, he's got to be. He's definitely got to
God.
be just a little bit more, risk adverse. And
Please.
but if they can start getting to Drake May,
Yeah, man.
all of a
And
sudden,
I think they're going to get to him. They got 2 rookie offensive linemen.
Yeah.
Come on now.
Yeah.
On the same side. Dude, that's going to get ugly fast, man.
Yeah.
And they're going to pop the shit out of your man, Drake May. I mean, I'm telling you, man. They're going to. Yo, last week they was putting a hurt piece on Rodgers. Okay? Yes. A couple of those shots where they hit Rodgers and his chin strap was up over his mouth and his helmet was askew.
Yeah,
I was like, damn, homeboy just aged 10 years off that one hit, man. That defense will humble you real quick, man.
You think Rodgers is done?
I think Rodgers is done.
I think he's done too. Just because, especially with Mike Tomlin being fired, which we'll talk about.
You're going to go get into a whole
second.
new situation now. You're surely not coming back to the Steelers. The Steelers aren't going to re-up that. The Steelers, I think people always want to get rid of the coach.
It's ridiculous.
I think they're going to, but listen, they need to strip down and get like a top 4 pick and get a real quarterback because remember they tried.
So you're saying they should tank?
No,
that's exactly what you're saying.
No.
Right?
I'm thinking though, but what I'm saying though is, Nick, I don't think they should tank as a team. I'm thinking the Steelers, and this is the not wrong thing, but this is what Mike Tomlin did. He always made them overachieve. So when he'd make a 6-win team, a 9-win team, and that always put them in the same situation where they end up. Finally, when they draft a quarterback, they're drafting Kenny Pickett, and he sucks. So, listen, though, as we know, Nick, you can get a decent quarterback with an 11th, 12th pick, depending if you make a good choice.
Yeah, a lot of things got to go right, obviously. No matter where you draft a quarterback, a lot of things got to go right. Yeah, the whole Tomlin being, Tomlin deciding to step down, which I don't think he decided to step down. I think he got fired. I think that they just, let him go out the way that he wanted to. And, I don't get it. I would love for that guy. We talked about Harbaugh last week, and, your line was that you would, crawl through glass for him to be your your coach.
Thought about that a little bit more. And while I do think Harbaugh's a good coach and all that, let's not forget, Nick, that, okay, did he make that culture down there in Baltimore? Or when he got there, the culture was already built, pretty much? When he got there, Lewis was there. Ed Reed was there. Jonathan Ogden was there.
Even if that's the case and he was able to just maintain it for 18 years, I'll take it.
He did a great job
I'll take it.
maintaining
And you were one of the first people out here saying him to the Giants.
I thought that. He just looked like a Giants coach to me. He just looked like he looked apart. Central casting. And that's where he is. And, good for them. I think it'll be good for them. But, I think people are getting a little over their skis right here. People talking about, I think the Giants are going to make the playoffs next year. Okay. I think they're going to be better.
If they have.
I think Jackson Dart's good, but I don't know about making the playoffs.
If they have a good draft and they stay healthy, I definitely think that's a possibility. Just because I think that the upgrade from Dable to Harbaugh is going to be massive. And
I don't think they're going to beat Philly. I don't think they're going to split with Dallas. And if what's the name comes
back, a lot
back,
of upheaval in Philly as well. A lot of people. Some people say Dable might go there and be their offensive coordinator, or maybe this guy Mike McDaniel. Which I think that I'm a little bit more fond of Mike McDaniel than most people. I think that he would be. I think he's a very, very good OC. I think that he's probably a good coach too.
He is.
I thought that was interesting how that went down in Miami, where they say he's back and then all of a sudden he's not. But let's spend a little more time on Wild Card Weekend because there was so many great games. The Rams, they win that game close against your boy Bryce Young, 34-31.
Yeah.
That Bears-Packers game.
Wow.
This boy, what a game.
See, now there's a guy, Caleb Williams.
What about him?
6'1", 6'2". This is my boy. And he's got insane arm talent. He does.
Chambliss does not have the arm talent of a Caleb Williams or of a Cam Ward. He does not.
I don't know. I don't know, Nick.
I do know.
Caleb is a monster. That guy can make throws. That throw he made running to the 11, then jumping in the air and zinging it to the...
Shit was crazy.
What
a throw.
Insane.
Wow.
What
a throw. The game was awesome.
That game was awesome, Nick. That was an exciting game. And I like Chicago. I like their running backs. This boy Swift is good.
Yeah.
They're an exciting team. Their defense is not that great. That's going to cost them. Because this guy, Caleb...
that's the issue.
Right.
That's the issue.
He's not going to just keep pulling the rabbit out the hat. But... man, oh man, is he good?
But you can't count them out of a game. They keep doing that over and over
and
again.
they keep coming. But
Matthew Stafford, and you feel like he's gonna have like 400 yards against that defense.
Oh yeah, it could get real ugly real fast. Puka,
Boy,
you
Puka
know,
Nacua, man.
that boy's hands are
People are talking
crazy.
about whether or not he's top 5. I'm like, he's definitely top 5. We got to start talking about, is he the
Receivers?
best receiver in the league?
Yeah, he's up there, Nick. He's a guy who I tell your son all the time, watch him how he plays the position. He plays the position almost perfect.
Yeah, yeah.
His cuts, the way he uses his hands, the positioning of his hands and how he catches the ball, and just the way, just everything he does is wide receiver 101. It really is.
Yeah, he's great. He's fantastic. Bills, Broncos.
That was a good end. I like the Bills.
You like the Bills?
I do.
You thought the Bills were going to lose last week to the Jags.
I did. I thought the Jags were going to do something big, but they couldn't pull it out, man. I mean, listen, this guy put
That
the
game
cape
was
on and he
great,
got
too.
it done. Yeah. Josh Allen, he's good.
Yo, Josh Allen is that dude.
He's a
But
beast.
that Broncos defense is pretty damn
Very
good.
good.
As
They're
well.
coming off
and we
the
saw
edge
him
really
get
fast.
broke up a little bit last week
Yeah.
against the Jaguars.
Well,
We'll see. And I mean,
But
it's
you know
in
he's
Mile
going to be
High.
spry come this weekend. You know he's going to be fine come this weekend. Josh
It's gonna be
Allen.
fine. That hand shit though, that's one of those things where you play through it, but it's still bothering you a little
and
bit.
as soon as you get hit on it again, it's nagging.
And all you need is it to affect one throw, and it can entirely
change
change
the whole
everything.
game.
What about Niners Seahawks? How you feel about that one?
I think the Seahawks win that game. I like the Niners. I love Saleh and everything he's doing there. You know I'm a big Saleh fan. Should have never fired him. But I think that Saleh's got him coaching him up real well, but I think they just have too many frontline injuries. Fred Warner, Bosa. They're missing a lot of their main guys. Kittle, and Seattle's cooking right now, and Seattle's defense is a beast also. They're the next best defense. They're almost as good as Houston, Nick. Mike McDonald has those boys going.
I mean, Houston, Seattle, Denver, all of those you
Right.
can argue are the best defense in the NFL.
I think
at
Houston's the
certain
best,
points.
in my opinion. What I've seen, Houston, man.
Seattle's pretty good too, though.
I know. I got to see more of them, but I watched them, and when I saw Houston, to me, it jumped off the page just how fast they were to rally to the ball and the violence with which
And they don't disguise anything. They just line up how they're going to play,
Bang.
and they just come right at you.
and they
I
hit
like
you
that
hard, and no one, every tackle is immediate.
shit. Right.
Okay?
Yeah.
No one's slipping down anybody's body, and they keep running with these guys.
Yeah.
Every time they put a hat on you, you're going down.
Also, real quick, when we talk about Pittsburgh and Houston, DK Metcalf. Come on, man. I mean, I know everybody thinks you're an athlete. You're a body beautiful. Pause.
He's not a number one receiver.
He's not a number one receiver.
Trying to catch the ball like this. What are you doing?
He had that one drop where Rodgers is running for his life and he makes a good throw, and then in real time you're like, oh, that was a tough one, and then they sort of replay and it's like that ball just came straight through and like hit him in the
In
forearms.
real time, I thought that was a terrible miss by him. Come on, that ball hit him in the hands. Come on. No, it was a bad look, and he's not a number one receiver. He's just not. And this is what I'm saying with the Steelers. The Steelers just signed him for big money, man, for a couple years.
Yeah.
And, still with T.J. Watt and Cam Hayward, too, and they're aging on the offensive line. They're going to have a tough stretch the next few years. I want to see how Steeler fans are going to be talking when they have a 4-5 win season.
Especially when they're all looking and saying, we had Mike Tomlin for all these years, and now we have whoever the next guy's going to be.
Well, yeah, I heard some people talking Saleh.
Salah?
I mean, look, he'll get the team playing. Somebody, though.
I wouldn't go straight back to head coaching just yet if I was Salah.
Right. Keep doing your thing in Frisco. You're there with your boy. Just chill.
And if I was an organization, I wouldn't rush to that either. But you know what? There are some people that I'm sure that are looking at it like, hey, well, he didn't do well in the Jets. It's the fucking Jets. Nobody can do well there.
Right.
So
And some of these guys, they need a second chance, and they do really well.
Devontae Adams is coming for us. I actually didn't think that Rodgers was coming for us when he talked about the fact that he's played for like two of the most storied, organizations. I didn't think that was necessarily a dig at
I
the
didn't
Jets.
think it was, but I did think
Adams definitely.
I did think, yeah, sure, but I did think, Nick. I'll be honest. I mean, I know Rodgers is your guy and everything, but his act on the field the other day is exactly why I'm glad he was not a Jet. That shit was not cool, man. That shit was not cool, Nick. His act, just his histrionics on the field was bullshit to me, and he was doing it all game from the start of the game, and just like, everything seemed to be somebody else's fault. And he missed a few throws too, Nick. If anybody else on the team reacted that way when he missed throws, he would lose his mind. It's just not cool.
I didn't think it was especially bad in that game. I think that throughout the season he's done some stuff that
bad
wasn't
in this last game.
That wasn't
rolling
very
his
good.
eyes, throwing his hands up, bitching nonstop on the sideline. Dude, man, you're not helping anybody with that shit.
I mean, on the sideline, he's not supposed to bitch and like.
No, he's bitching to his coach or whatever on the sideline. He's just clearly bitching, Nick. You see, I didn't like it when Tom Brady did it, right? When he was doing it like to his offensive lineman. Mm-hmm. But he's doing it to his offensive lineman. He's getting in those guys' ass and trying to get those guys going instead of just bitching. I don't like that act with Rodgers, man. That's not cool to me. And I didn't think he was that way so much before he came to the Jets. Then I saw him do it a little on the Jets, and I didn't like it. And I've seen him do it even more this year.
He was criticized for that when he was in Green Bay, for sure.
I didn't remember it. I didn't notice it as much. Maybe I was just too enamored with his throwing ability.
Who you got winning the Super Bowl right now?
It's a tough one. I don't know, man. I gotta go. I was going to go Buffalo in the AFC, but again, man, if this guy...
You thought Buffalo was going to lose last week, and now
I
you
know,
think
but I see them having a resurgence in your man Josh Allen. But if this guy doesn't turn the ball over and do stupid shit, Nick, Houston could do something out of the AFC, man. They're that good. And then in the NFC, Seattle.
Catch us every week on YouTube or wherever you find your podcast. Please follow, like, comment, and subscribe, and make sure you hit that notification button on all platforms. Really appreciate all the love. You can find us on all socials at Independent Nick. That's Independent N.I.C. Love you, big guy.
Love you, kid.